Right now, the dominant variant in Michigan remains the Delta variant, but doctors say this new Omicron variant is one of concern. A doctor I talked to says this is all new and information is very limited on a national level, let alone on a local level. Dr. Hassan Nasser says doctors suspect the current Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson vaccines offer protection against this variant. He says he recommends the vaccine for people for that protection. According to the newest information about this variant, he says the symptoms are different.
Have different symptoms that can present. Sometimes people are experiencing abdominal discomfort, a lot of fatigue, exhaustion. It's not the same as we are seeing with, fever, shortness of breath, wheezing, loss of sense of smell and taste, and aches and things like that.
Dr. Nasser tells me that they are not surprised by this new variant and says the pharmaceutical companies who make the vaccines are ready to alter them and change them if needed to add protection against this Omicron variant or any other variant that comes up.
Parents of Flint Community School's Southwestern Classical Academy say the school needs to be safer.
My one son got maced.
Betty Nostrand says she's worried about her children and the environment for others.
This is not a riot going on in the street. This is a school. It should be safe.
Other parents expressing similar concerns.
When she comes home, I sit there and say, well, how many fights were today? And, and there's always usually at least one fight.
Parents showed up to a meeting hosted by Southwestern Classical Academy Monday night to talk about safety and the well-being of students.
We are striving to develop a culture that is positive, professional, and calm.
Principal Christopher Akanicki responding to claims that it's out of control.
It's not out of hand. We've seen a 40% reduction in disciplinary referrals this year as compared to the 2019-2020 school year, which is the last year that we have data available for when we had students in the building.
He says they're introducing an intervention program called Level Up, which identifies students who need extra attention. He's asking for parents and the community to volunteer on the check-in program. He says they'll have daily check-ins at breakfast and lunch. Students can go to these volunteers to resolve conflict.
We have had some altercations, but we are working diligently to resolve those conflicts and to help those students to resolve their conflicts in amicable ways.
I think it needs more, but you have to have somewhere to start from.
I'm in it for the long haul. I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan. I went to Flint schools. I'm a graduate of Southwestern Academy.
And now Kevlin Jones is the superintendent, newly named to the position, succeeding Anita Stewart after her rocky relationship with the school board.
How do you move forward in a way that puts all of that behind and then lets the community know that you are in sync with the board is in sync with you, and together you're going to work to make things better for the children in Flint?
Trust is a big issue that our board has had in our previous administration. They were open about that. And so we're going to do all we can to ensure that we're giving them information and we are building that trust and camaraderie that's necessary to do what's best for our scholars.
Jones steps in at a time when the district is facing several challenges. According to MichiganData.org, enrollment is trending down. The student-teacher ratio is 31-1, way above the current state average of 18-1. Academic performance in all core subjects is poor. Grades 3 through 11, in many cases, showing 80 to 95% of students are not proficient.
Yes, we have plans as a district to bring in more staff to support with tutoring and to give scholars an opportunity for tutoring in the morning before school and tutoring after school. But what we really wanted to do was get our community involved.
Jones is planning a community forum series, 11 sessions starting next week, seeking input from parents on how the district can best meet student needs. And he'll use that information to work with experts on developing a plan to close the achievement gap. Also, Jones is creating an advisory committee to help come up with ways to accomplish other big goals, like building new schools and renovating some existing ones.
It is our desire to build a new high school. It is our desire to build a couple of elementary schools. And so this advisory committee is going to support that work.